Stadium lights, raised fists, and a wall of amps. The 70s turned rock into a living earthquake. From stomp and clap battle cries to monster riffs, these songs made bleachers rumble. Here are 10 explosive anthems that still shake the rafters. Number 10, We Will Rock You by Queen. Stadium nights felt like rituals. Whole crowds moved in sync before the headliners played a note. An anthem powered those moments, living in the echo of concrete steps and the cadence of thousands of feet. At Wessex Studios in 1977, the band stacked layer upon layer of stomp and clap takes, turning the room into a drum. Brian May drew on nights where audiences led the charge and imagined a beat every person could perform. The track was built for raised hands, solid floors, and shared tempo. Released on News of the World, it migrated from concerts to school gyms, locker rooms, and playoff broadcasts. The pulse spreads faster than any melody. Two hits of the heel, one clap, and the space around you becomes a section of the stands. Hear it, and the body answers first, the mind a second later. Number 9, Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple. A casino by Lake Geneva erupted during a Zappa show in December 1971, and a plume of smoke drifted across the water. The chaos forced a relocation, and a riff sketched in a hotel corridor soon carried the whole story. One night, one image, and a legend found its spark. With the Rolling Stones mobile unit parked outside, sessions shifted into Montreux's shuttered Grand Hotel, rooms converted into makeshift booths. The lyric reads like a diary entry, with flares, sirens, and a burned-out venue captured line by line. The arrangement locked into a guitar and organ unison that every garage band tried to master. Machine Head arrived in 1972. The single followed in 1973, and rock radio kept it in rotation. Concert crowds learned the saga beat for beat, and that opening figure became the first thing many fans played on a six-string. Strike the notes, and the story returns in full. Number 8, Highway to Hell by AC/DC. Years of hard miles on the road had the crew chasing a breakthrough big enough to lift them from sweaty theaters to the largest stages. The title came from the grind itself, and from homegrown lore back in Western Australia, where a stretch toward a favorite riverside pub was nicknamed like a warning sign. Late nights, long drives, and a sense that the next gig could finally tip everything in their favor. This was the headspace. In 1979, sessions with producer Robert John Mutt Lang at London's Roundhouse Studios tightened everything. He pushed sharper arrangements, stacked crowd-ready shouts, and dialed performances until every part hit with purpose. The result felt built for truck stop jukeboxes and festival fields alike, direct and unshakable. Released that summer, it became a calling card at shows and a rite of passage for rock radio. The first bars alone could pull a section of the crowd to its feet. Arena lights swing wide, and the room moves as one, ready for the next blast. Number 7. We're an American Band by Grand Funk Railroad. Hotel rooms blurred into bus windows that summer as a new producer pushed the pace. Todd Rundgren set up quick sessions and chased performances that felt like headlights on a midnight interstate. From road stories and after-show scribbles, a rallying statement took shape, built for big rooms and louder nights. A sharp cowbell count-off snaps the crowd to attention, then the engine kicks. Gritty guitar, lockstep rhythm, and a bright piano line from Craig Frost cutting through the mix. Drummer Don Brewer takes the lead vocal, driving verses that read like a touring diary while stacked harmonies frame the hook. Every turn is clean, confident, and aimed at the back row. Issued in 1973, the single became the band's first U.S. #1 and a fixture of FM rock blocks. Capitol even leaned into the moment with gold-tinted vinyl. Cue that opening count, and the floor starts bouncing. County fairs, ballparks, and arenas moving as one. Number 6, Rock and Roll All Night by Kiss.
You show us everything you've got. You keep on dancing and the room.
Club floors turned sticky with confetti and beer before midnight, and one closing ritual sent everyone home hoarse. Hands went up, voices piled in, and the chorus became a badge you shouted with friends. By the time the lights came up, it felt less like a concert and more like joining a tribe. During the Dress to Kill period, the band chased that feeling in the studio. Paul Stanley brought a working verse he'd been shaping. Gene Simmons answered with a rallying chorus. Casablanca chief Neil Bogart urged them toward something fans could claim as theirs. The arrangement leaned into call and response, and a crowd that refused to sit still. The studio single made modest noise. The Alive version captured the sweat and fireworks and shot into the top 20, turning the finale into company policy for every tour. Confetti, pyro, and a sea of fists finish the scene. The last shout hangs in the rafters as everyone spills into the night. Let's take a quick pause before we hit the final 5. Which of these anthems brought a memory rushing back? Did one surprise you? Or have you been blasting it for years without knowing who sang it? What's your personal pick for the most overlooked stadium rock moment of the 70s? Number 5, Carry On Wayward Son by Kansas. A deadline hovered over a half-finished album when a new idea walked into rehearsal. Kerry Livgren arrived with pages of fresh changes and a title that felt like a mission. The band gathered around the sketch, sensing they'd found the missing piece to open the record and focus the tour ahead. Producer Jeff Glicksman kept the performances tight and the structure bold, framing an a cappella entrance, a driving verse, and a lift built for big rooms. In the control room, takes clicked quickly as Steve Walsh pushed the lead, and the guitars traced a figure that locked the whole band together. It sounded like Purpose, clear, direct, and ready for a stage. Issued in late 1976 on Leftoverture, it became their first major hit and a staple of FM rock blocks, pushing into the U.S. top 20. Arena lights flare, hands rise, and 1,000 voices meet the refrain at once. The room feels united before the final chord lands. Number 4, Paranoid by Black Sabbath. A rushed request for a single became a career moment. Late in the 1970 sessions, the band was told the album needed a tight radio cut. A riff appeared within minutes, and tape rolled. What began as filler turned into a calling card. Tony sketched the spine on the spot, Geezer scribbled words between passes, and Ozzy nailed it in a handful of takes. The arrangement stayed lean and relentless, built to lift a room from the first bar. The title soon crowned the sleeve and gave the album its name. UK radio seized it, and the single climbed fast, turning club crowds into one voice. For many listeners, this was the doorway into heavy music, blasting from garage amps and festival stacks alike. Strike the opening figure, and you can feel the floor flex under boots, heads moving in time. Number 3, Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin. A northern tour stop sparked a flash of myth. After a Reykjavik show and a day among volcanic fields, the group left with images of longboats, cold wind, and ancient banners. On the flight home, a terse idea snapped into place, a rallying riff built for the biggest rooms. In the Led Zeppelin 3 sessions, takes came quickly. Guitars locked to drums with almost no air between them, and the lead vocal hook was stacked as a sharp, wordless cry. Working between Headley Grange and London's Olympic Studios, they captured something lean, urgent, and shaped for a stage the size of a football field. Issued in late 1970 with the non-album Hey Hey What Can I Do on the flip, the single pushed into the US Top 20 and went straight to the front of the setlist. One flash of lights, the opening figure hits, and 1,000 voices rise like a wave. Number 2, School's Out by Alice Cooper. The final bell rings, and a hallway erupts into paper airplanes and laughter. That last day energy poured into a single that turned graduation week into a marching order. Every teenager knew the gesture before the chorus arrived. Slam the locker, kick the door, sprint into summer. Producer Bob Ezrin staged the scene like a director. In the room, the band drove a lean, strutting groove, while a school bell punched the brakes, and a children's chorus lifted the payoff. Even the album's sleeve played along, opening like a wooden desk with a cheeky surprise tucked inside. Released in 1972, it shot into the US Top 10 and hit number 1 in the UK. The track became a seasonal ritual at proms, pep rallies, and end-of-term shows. Strike the opening figure, and classrooms, gyms, and stadiums still move as if the year just ended. Number 1, Won't Get Fooled Again by The Who. A scrapped rock opera left behind one idea that refused to die. From Pete Townshend's Lifehouse notebooks came a statement about cycles of change and how crowds rise and fade. It fit a decade that had grown louder and wary of easy promises. In spring 1971 at Stargroves, with the Rolling Stones mobile and producer Glyn Johns, the band locked it down. Townshend ran a Lowry organ through an EMS VCS-3 to build the pulse, then slammed in windmilling chords. Keith Moon tore around the beat while John Entwistle held the line. Roger Daltrey drove the vocal to that famous lung-busting scream. Released that summer as the lead single and centerpiece of Who's Next, it reached the UK Top 10 and the US Top 20. The long version closed shows for years, lights dropping to black before a final crash. Strike the opening bars, and an arena seems to stand at once, braced for the break and the roar that follows.